How's it going, YouTube? And welcome back. So today I got my first ever gaming pickups video. So I decided to start doing these because I started picking up a lot of games recently, and I figured, you know what? I think it would be a pretty good idea to just, sit in front of the camera and show you guys what I picked up. So I'm gonna try and make this a recurring series. Probably do it every month or so. So yeah, let's get into it. So this month I actually repurchased a Nintendo 64 and decided to go back and purchase some of the games that I missed out on and just play some of the games that I grew up with. And as you can see, I got a pretty big stack here. So I do have more coming in. I did a couple buys on eBay, so I do have a few more coming in, but I'm just going to save those for the next month and I'll show you guys what I got then. But first off, this one was one that my oldest brother always played. And I do have this for PS1. So I don't know how much this is going to differ on the Nintendo 64, but I figured, you know what, it was a part of the lot. So I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? Nightmare Creatures. Now, Nightmare Creatures is how do I explain it? So take Bloodborne from today and just put it on PS1. That's basically what this is. So basically, Nightmare Creatures is really good. Basically like a horror, like pseudo hack and slash kind of game, and it's really good. I played this a lot on PS1 after I picked it up, but picking up on the Nintendo 64, from what I've played of it so far, there's not too much that's different. So far I only played like the first couple levels and the CGI cutscenes are missing, but other than that, game's pretty much the same. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Of course, one of the games that I played as a kid, this one was probably the main source of console shooters. Four-player console shooters probably wouldn't be anywhere without this, and that is GoldenEye. So, the thing that I like the most about GoldenEye is like all the memories that flooded back as soon as I picked this game back up. Just me, my brothers, and my dad. Always doing four-player multiplayer matches, and honestly, just going back and playing this, a whole bunch of memories just started flowing back. I love this thing. And now this one, anyone who grew up in the 2000s probably knows this guy. If you grew up in the 90s, you definitely know this guy. But this one was a port from PC to Nintendo 64, and I'm pretty sure there was a version on PS1. But that is Duke Nukem 3D, but of course for Nintendo it was Duke Nukem 64. So, if you haven't played Duke Nukem 3D, it is a very good first-person shooter, especially for the time. But of course, if you play it now, with all the updates that first-person shooters have had since this game came out, it's pretty primitive. But still going back and playing this game, I still had a blast. I actually just beat it today. I got it the other day, and I just decided to play it today, and you know what? It still holds up. A lot of censoring, though, but, what can you do? It's Nintendo. Now, this is one that I played a lot when I was a kid. Now, everyone who knows me knows how big of a fan of Scooby-Doo I was when I was younger. And honestly, this game was just like bread and butter for me when I was younger. Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. Now, this one actually came with the box, but unfortunately, the box was a little beat up, which is why I kind of got it at a little bit of a discount. So, as you can see, it came with the box, a little beat up, but, just having this thing still is, like, really cool. Like, it came with the manual, came with the insert. So, yeah, it came with everything, but, of course, the box was a little beat up, but if I ever come across like a better box in the future, I can just upgrade it. But yeah, so basically what this game is just like the, I can't remember exactly how many episodes this goes over. I know it goes through the, Black Knight, I think Captain Cutler, and a few others. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but I do plan on playing this again, and I'll let you guys know how I feel about it, if my opinion still holds up. Now, another one that I really enjoyed as a kid, this one was me and my me and one of my brother's like favorite games to play, and that's Diddy Kong Racing. Now, as you can see, I did buy most of the rare games. The only ones I'm missing right now are Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and then Perfect Dark, but I don't have the expansion pack yet, so I can't even really play it, so I didn't even bother picking it up yet. But Diddy Kong Racing was one of my favorites as a kid. It's a great kart racer. I definitely recommend it. And of course, since I was talking about Rare, there was one game I didn't mention that I didn't have, but it's because I do have it. And probably one of the more sought-after games on the console. It's not really... I mean, it's sort of an expensive title, but not really like the crowning jewel of the system or anything, but it's still up there, and that's Conker's Bad Fur Day. Now, if you haven't played this game, I do definitely recommend it. The remake that they had on Xbox is on Series S and X, and I'm pretty sure it's on Rare Replay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is on Rare Replay, and I know this is on Game Pass on Xbox consoles. I don't know if it's on PC Game Pass or not, but I do definitely recommend you guys playing this. This game is so good, so funny, very raunchy, but I think that's just why I love it. Now, these next couple games, so I started picking up games for the NES again, because I noticed when I was going through like games that I didn't have that I wanted to look into, a lot of the prices started going down on these. Probably just because, you know, the NES craze kind of just died down. I mean, of course, I'm not going to get, like, you know, that, like, Flintstones game or fucking Stadium Events or any of that, but I picked up some of these because these were games that I saw reviews of when I was younger, just, like, getting into retro stuff. And this first one was one that this was my first JonTron video, which, shout out to you if you know or like JonTron. But, yeah, this was the first review of his that I saw, and I just fell in love with it. And that is Monster Party. Now, of course, this is the typical NES side-scroller. Basically has just like public domain monsters that you fight, and you fuse with a demon. And it's a really weird game to explain, but honestly, I played a little bit of it, and it's kind of fun, I'm going to be honest. Even though a lot of reviewers will look at this and not really like it all that much. But from what I played of it, I do enjoy it, and I think it's actually pretty good. Now, this is one I haven't heard. I heard it passing in a AVGN video once, but I never really saw any gameplay of it. But I did see the title, and that video popped in my head again. I was like, oh yeah, I did hear about this, but I never really looked into it. So I bought it for $5, and I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll buy it, try it out. And that is Clash of Demon Head. Now, like I said, I don't know too much about this game. Anyone who's like into NES, you guys can tell me how you feel about this game. But I am planning on playing it just to figure out if it's good or not. But you know, if it was $5, you know, you can't really complain. Now, this one, AVGN's Mortal Nemesis. Before LJN, there was a game that he did very early in his career, and it was the first video he ever showed his face. And I don't think this game needs any introduction. If you've been on retro game reviews on YouTube and all that, you know what this game is. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, if you're looking at me and saying, why did you buy this game? It was $2. Unfortunately, that's $2 I'm never going to see again. But honestly, since this game is legendary on how bad it is, and honestly, I did a recording of it, of my first impressions of it, and I do plan on releasing that. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be doing a pseudo, like, critical style, like, old school gameplay and commentary for it. And honestly, this game is as bad as a lot of people say it is. But yeah, I mean, it's legendary, and, you know, I kind of want it in my collection, so yeah, got it. Now, got a couple games here. First one was from my childhood, and another one was a game that I found out about recently. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is the one from my childhood. So I played a lot of Mortal Kombat with my brothers. Probably shouldn't have, but that's neither here nor there. But this was the one that I played the most. I did play Deadly Alliance a lot of like the traditional Mortal Kombat games. I did play Deadly Alliance the most, but of any game with like the Mortal Kombat branding on it, this was the one I played the most, and that is Shaolin Monks. Now, if you don't know what Shaolin Monks is, it's basically just like a 3D beat 'em up, basically, just with Liu Kang and Kung Lao. So if you played Mythologies, Sub-Zero, and Special Forces, it's basically like a pseudo sequel to those, except this game doesn't suck. This game's actually really good. Now, this game I actually just found out about recently, so I have been getting more into playing the horror games that were released on this generation, on like PS2, GameCube, and the Xbox generation. And this was one that I have heard of, but just never had a chance to play. And I found, so this game was usually pretty pricey. The price has gone down drastically on it just because a lot of people played it and it's not really that good of a game. But it was really like the first of its kind where it's just like, so basically take like a group of teenagers and put them in like a modern day horror movie. We're just like, oh, just a bunch of teenagers and there's just like some killer on the loose. And that's what this is, and that is Obscure. Now, I have heard a lot of YouTubers talk about this game, notably Alpha Omega Sin, and he did say it was a pretty good horror game, not the best, but I figured, why not? I'd go ahead and check it out, and got it for the original Xbox, and yeah, I'll play and let you guys know how I feel about it. Now, probably one of the bigger ones that I got was the PS1. So for the PS1, there was a whole lot of games that I've been looking for. I do have one of my most sought after PS1 games coming in, and I'll show you guys that one in next month when I do my next pickup video. But I did get a few of my more sought after ones. So this first one, of this trilogy of games on the PS1, this one's my favorite. I do like one. I love the third one, but this one is my favorite. Resident Evil 2. And of course, with Resident Evil 2, I'm pretty sure this is a lot of people's favorite from the original trilogy. I know a lot of people say 1 is their favorite, very few say number 3 is their favorite, but a good majority of people will say this is their favorite one, and I have to tend to agree. So yeah, I'm just really glad to finally own this physically. I did play this a lot on GameCube, but I'm not paying that price for the copy of it, so yeah, this was probably my best option. Oh yeah, pretty cool. Now this next one, speaking of horror games, Square Enix, or as we know them as Square Enix, back then they were Squaresoft, did a couple of games that were horror-based RPGs, and this was the first one. And there was a sequel on PS1, then there was a third one on PSP, I believe, and that is Parasite Eve, and this is the first one. So the first Parasite Eve game, one of the guys that I record with all the time, you heard him all the time on here, Ryan, he actually got this in North Carolina, I think. He got his own copy down there, and I was so jealous when he got it, but now I finally have my own, so suck it, Ryan. Now you can't hold anything over me. Now this next one, speaking of Resident Evil games, I am still getting the ones for PS1, and of course the only one I'm missing is 1 and 3, because I just recently got Resident Evil Survivor. Now, this isn't exactly a good game, but this game is, how do I really explain it? It's basically like an on rails kind of game, except you can actually control it. Basically, you actually control where you walk. Game is easy as hell, but unfortunately, it did not have the light gun support, which unfortunately, this game would have definitely needed in the States, but Just playing it, it's not good, but definitely if you were looking for a fun game to just laugh at with your friends, this is it. This voice acting is absolutely atrocious. Like, you think the original is bad, this is so much worse. But yeah, it's a lot of fun still. Now, I had previously mentioned a little while ago when I was going through my Nintendo 64 games that I had the first Nightmare Creatures on PS1. And of course, they had a sequel for the PS1. I'm pretty sure they didn't release it for the Nintendo 64, but they did for the PS1. And Nightmare Creatures 2. So basically with this one, it just basically continues the story of the first one. You basically just play as one of the guys that the main villain experimented on. And basically you're just like going for revenge, basically. It's the same kind of game, just playing as a different character. You can actually equip different weapons this time around, and honestly, from what I've played of it so far, it's honestly really good. I do recommend it. Now, the last game of the lot. So this was a game that I've been looking for eons, and it was always out of my reach, whether it was price, whether it was the condition of the case, missing the manual, or just even missing the case in general, and it just being disc only. And it's kept creeping up in price, but with the re-release on PlayStation, the price actually went down on it, and I finally won a bid on eBay at a pretty solid price for this. And honestly, I could not be happier, because this is one that I have been looking for, like, since I started getting into collecting. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, basically, this is where the whole Metroidvania style for Castlevania showed up. And honestly, definitely my favorite Castlevania game. I do have a lot of memories with Castlevania and N64, and of course I did love the Lords of Shadows games, because they were basically just like God of War and Devil May Cry, but in Castlevania. But Symphony of the Night will always be my favorite. Always will be. And I finally got a copy of it, and I'm very happy about that. So yeah, that'll do it for the pickups video for March of 2023. So I want to thank you guys so much for checking this video out. So as of right now, I do have a couple videos lined up. I'm still editing the Resident Evil 5 playthrough. I hope you guys really liked part 1. But I do have the rest of the videos coming out. I just finished editing those, so I'm going to start releasing them. I'm going to try and release them daily. But yeah, just be sure to check out for those. I do have a commentary style video series that I'm going to be working on. And of course, I'm going to be doing, I'm actually started working on some reviews. Because I'm just trying to like find my footing, trying to see what I want to do with this whole channel. Because I do love doing the compilations, I love doing the playthroughs with my friends and all that. But I kind of want to start implementing like other things for this channel, so I'm not just repeating the same thing over and over again. So if there's anything you guys really want to see from me, let me know down below. So yeah, that'll basically do it for today. Take care, see you later. I'm HighChange66, and I'll see you next time.